So it's now 2017, and we're roughly 6 years into the lifetime of the Lenovo X220i and X220. And after owning both laptops now for just about that entire time, I feel duped. And you know, it's not like these are bad computers by any means whatsoever, because they really aren't. It's just that they don't really live up to the ThinkPad name. So really, where I think both models fail to deliver is in build quality and raw features. Now of course, these are compact laptops. This one measures in at 12.5 inches, so it's understandable that some features are going to be left out just purely because of functionality's sake. There are some things that really do confuse me about this laptop as well, which we will get into, of course. Okay, so before I do tear into this laptop, I would like to just say there is a lot to like about it too, and if you are in the market for one, I'm not going to dissuade you from getting one. Expansion, versatility, capability, sustainability, and upgradability are all there with these laptops. And really, this is the reason why I personally use one on a daily basis. You can see here you have perfectly easy access to all of your RAM, you have a replaceable battery, and of course you have your removable hard drive. Here is really where you start to see the problems. Keyboard, mouse, the display, the overall build quality of the laptop, those things are all severely lacking. Hold on for a second, you're saying that I'm calling out the keyboard on this. Well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. The keyboard just isn't good. People will stand behind these keyboards for some reason or another. It's not bad, okay? It's not that bad. It's a lot more usable than a lot of other compact computers out there. I will say that. I can't deny that, but I can't stand it. So here's the thing, right? A lot of newer Lenovo ThinkPad laptops have done away with this keyboard, and they've gone to a chiclet or island style keyboard. In some cases, those keyboards have actually felt better than the one I'm using on this laptop. The buttons themselves, each individual key is very, very mushy. You could press the page up button, which is in the top right corner here, and there's nothing to it. And then you can press the control button, and there's nothing to it. Now, you may have noticed that there's a difference in the sound there too, and that's because the entire bottom presses inward. The metal on the bottom of the keyboard actually rubs against the metal of the chassis, so when you type on any of the bottom row keys, so between this row and here, you'll hear a loud tapping sound, but when you type up here, it's fairly quiet. Now, I'll give it a few things as well. It still has the track point. A lot of other laptops have done away with that, even some in the ThinkPad lineup, and it is pretty decent to use for a compact laptop. You know, I'll say that again. So that's the keyboard. Yeah, I'm not that thrilled about it. Now, I've said it, and I'll continue saying it, it's not the worst keyboard out there. Is it better than most other compact laptops? Like I said, yes, it's definitely a step above most netbooks or compact laptops, but it's just not that usable in my opinion. I can't stand this keyboard, and that's that. At least I gave it its fair valuation. It's still okay compared to most compact laptops, but the one glaring omission that I can't forgive in any way whatsoever is this darn trackpad. This trackpad genuinely sucks. It's imprecise, it's small, it has integrated click buttons, and it's slow. Now I like the fact that they included the track point, because quite frankly, you're not going to want to use this trackpad for very long. If you try to use multi-touch gestures, you'll figure out very quickly it's very finicky, it's very imprecise, and it's kind of slow to react. When it does react, it either jumps too much or it does too many things at once, because it's such a small space that the slightest movement will get it to react. Software can compensate for that, usually. So, if you turn the sensitivity down just a little bit and increase the edge detection, you might be able to work around that. You might be able to use it just a little bit. Ideally, you're going to want to use the track point or an external mouse, because this is not a good trackpad whatsoever. In fact, I have disabled, that's right, disabled all multi-touch gestures on this trackpad. It even has inertial scrolling too for some ridiculous reason. The trackpad has no redeeming value whatsoever. Just use the track point. Whew, okay, yeah, sorry about that. Just had to get that out, you know? Let's talk about build quality now. This is flimsy, cheap plastic that flexes. This is also flimsy, cheap plastic that flexes. You'll notice that these things come out all the time. this part of the bezel shakes and comes loose. Oh, what was that? Let's see that again. Okay, here you go. That's the entire bottom bezel. But hey, why stop there? Let's go ahead and let the top of the bezel also join in on the party. Take a look at this right here. Oh yeah, that's great. You know it's quality when you can do that. Look at this paint job. I mean, what the hell is this paint job? You can scratch it so easily. Well, geez, the laptop also has terrible grips on the bottom. And really, after everything is said and done, I still haven't even gotten to the worst part yet, and that's the screen, because that screen, whoo boy, is terrible. If you are so unlucky that you happen to have one with the TFT, you are probably better off looking at a Game Boy for better screen quality. I have never seen a TFT so bad. The colors are washed out, like unbelievably so, and they have the worst cool tint to them. So if you look at a pure white page, you're going to see a slight blue tinting to it. If you look at a warm image, something with plenty of sunlight or yellows in it, it'll still somehow look washed out. If you even try to view it slightly off axis, the colors will either turn to black or they'll completely bleach out in a matter of a few degrees off center. It looks terrible, and you really have to hit the sweet spot. Not only that, the backlight, even though it's an LED backlight, is somehow ridiculously dim. So even though you have an anti-glare display, which props to them for that, I like anti-glare, you can't bring it outside and use it. Even at maximum brightness while plugged in, you cannot see it in even remote sunlight. So basically up to this point, I have been overwhelmingly negative about this laptop, and you're probably asking yourself, man, is this guy for real or what? And yeah, I really am. No, I am not exaggerating. And I know I'm gonna get just a ridiculous amount of hate in the comments for everything I've said so far, but please understand this. I do like ThinkPad computers. I like a lot of these machines, and I will stand by almost any business class machine. It's just that this particular machine, the X220, X220i, and X220T, are just lemons. These machines just aren't that great, and yes, they're still very usable. They're going to be usable for a long time, but they're just not that good. There's nothing to really like about these machines when you have to use them as your daily for a long period of time. But with everything I've said so far, I will bring you to the specs and the I/O before I wrap this up and get too carried away. This machine started off its life as an X220i, but then I did a board swap with an X220. So now I have a little bit more versatility. I also have a better processor, a Core i5-2520M. I have 6 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM. I've got a 240 gigabyte PNY SSD, which is an upgrade over the 320 gig 5400 RPM stock hard disk it came, which I think was the worst decision ever. I don't understand how you can justify using a 5400 RPM hard disk in this day and age, but not my decision, I guess. And the I/O. I have never seen another modern compact computer have such a good range of I/O. So you have these ports, then you have these ports. You also have the docking connector, which means you can also have all of these ports. So, okay, fine. There is a lot to be had with these machines. You can have a ridiculous amount of I/O with these things. They are infinitely capable. You can swap for all the way from a Core i3 to a Core i7. You can go from 1 gig of RAM to 16 gigabytes of RAM. There is a lot you can do with these machines. And I can't deny that. No matter how much I bash this thing, there's still a lot to like about it. If you need a laptop, these aren't that bad to go with. You're not going to have issues with them. They are reliable. They're built well enough where you don't have to worry, even though they do have some glaring issues with the build. So, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed my ridiculous spiel, and if you did, then go ahead and subscribe. I think you might enjoy some of my future rants. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Goodbye.